What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to Unstoppable, the elite mind and body podcast for men. Today, we're going to discuss high on life, the secret to lasting happiness. Okay. First and foremost, before we get into this episode, I want to preface this with one main thing. Okay. In order to understand happiness, you have to understand a chemical that's released in your brain called dopamine. Okay. Dopamine comes from anything and everything that you do. Okay. Like clicking this pen can give me dopamine, right? Scrolling social media can give me dopamine. Playing video games can give me dopamine. Drinking can give me dopamine. Video games, anything can give you dopamine. The most important thing to understand with dopamine is that if you do not select where you get dopamine from, your brain will select where you get dopamine from. Okay, let me repeat that. If you do not select where you get dopamine from, i.e., engineering specifically what you allow yourself to get dopamine from, your brain will take advantage and get dopamine wherever the fuck it wants. Okay, let me give you an example. If you're the type of person who stress eats, okay, if you do not engineer your brain in a way that allows you to deal with your stress differently, you will always stress eat. Not because you want the food, not because you're hungry, not because of anything other than the fact that dopamine is your brain's happiness hormone, your brain's pleasure hormone. Your brain is wired to get dopamine from anything and everything, okay? But most importantly to understand is that your brain is hardwired to get the most amount of dopamine for the least amount of effort. So anything that requires you to give a small amount of effort for a massive amount of dopamine, your brain will choose that thing time and time again. Right? So again, the social media scrolling, again, the video games, again, the porn, right? Drugs, weed, alcohol, all that stuff. Okay? Guys, dopamine is the most powerful thing to understand, because if you can understand it, then you can do what I'm about to tell you right now, which is engineering your brain in a way that you only get dopamine from specific things. Okay? My life, the reason why I have the life that I have is because over time, yes, Jonathan, this will be live on my podcast as well. The reason I have the life that I have right now is because over time, I have engineered myself to get dopamine from specific things, okay? I used to get dopamine from theft. I used to get dopamine from doing cocaine. I used to get dopamine from drinking all the time. I used to get dopamine from watching porn. I used to get dopamine from all of these different things. But over time, over the years, I've slowly cut out things, right? Slowly replaced them with other things that provide me with dopamine, but aren't quick fixes of dopamine that ruin my fucking day, okay? I want to give you guys another example, all right? Anytime I drink alcohol, okay, and this is a current event situation. Anytime I drink alcohol, I notice that for 2 to 3 days afterwards, I'm less motivated, okay? I had a client come back from vacation 2 weeks ago from Puerto Rico. He went on a beautiful Puerto Rican vacation with his family. Life was amazing. Everything was phenomenal. Sunshine and rainbows. Came back to New York, started working again, and for 3 to 4 days, demotivated, completely demotivated. Okay. I've had clients go on like benders for like a weekend or like overnight and drink and do cocaine and all that kind of stuff. And then for 3 to 4 days afterwards, they feel depressed and demotivated. Why is that? Okay. Why is that? When you get dopamine from something other than what you select, right? When you get dopamine from something that's a quick, fast-acting dopamine source that's unsustainable, it destroys your happiness, okay? It destroys your happiness. So the main thing to understand is if you want to be truly happy for the long term, your happiness needs to come and your dopamine needs to come from things that you choose. Because otherwise, your brain will just choose fucking anything, okay? So that's number one. Number two, okay? Because remember, we're talking, guys, high on life, the secret to lasting happiness. Number two is gratitude and mindfulness, okay? Now, before I get into gratitude and you're like, okay, yeah, I've heard people do gratitude journals before and I've heard people talk about meditation before. What I want to talk about is much deeper than that, because gratitude and mindfulness in the morning on a daily basis does one primary thing, okay? It sets your frequency to a specific level, okay? And if you guys understand anything about frequencies, I've talked about this many times in the podcast before, but you, at this moment, you are vibrating at a certain frequency, okay? if your vibration is low frequency, you're only going to attract other things on that low frequency. Okay. If your vibration is high frequency because you set it high, using gratitude, using mindfulness, using your visions, using your goals every single day, then your vibration is high and you can attract more things at that higher vibration. Okay. I hope that makes sense. A key to happiness is progression, right? Tony Robbins says this all the time. It's one of his most famous quotes ever. Progress equals happiness. Okay. What's the best way to progress in life? What's the best way to progress? The best way to progress in life is to become that which attracts the success that you want. How do you become that which attracts the success that you want? By tuning your frequency every single day, by choosing gratefulness, by choosing gratitude, by choosing happiness. Because here's the thing, guys, happiness is a choice, right? Like, honestly, like in any moment, no matter what's going on in your life, no matter what thoughts, what stresses, what anxieties, what self-doubt, what worry, what fears, no matter what is going on in your life, you can always recenter yourself and choose to take inventory of the good shit and be happy. That's what happiness is. Okay. It's a choice. Guys, the next thing I want to talk about is passions. Okay. Because something that is vitally undervalued in today's society, because most people in today's society just value money, success, status, right? Like, obviously relationships are in there and family and stuff like that too. But what society says is success and happiness is money, stuff, more shit, buying Louis bags and shit, right? I want to talk about passions because, guys, some of the happiest people in the world are the people that do what they love every single day, right? I've seen fishermen here in Dominican Republic that are happy as hell. They don't got nothing. It's just a couple fish, but they're happy as hell, right? So you can get fulfillment from your work, right? That's one main thing. So that's the fisherman example, right? You can get fulfillment from the things that you're passionate about. So for me, I get fulfillment from this podcast, right? I'm live with you guys right now. We've got 25 of you guys live across platforms. You guys are all getting value. We're all growing. We're all stepping into our greatness here. This is a passion of mine, which makes me happier. My dopamine levels are going nuts right now. But guys, understand this. Understand this. I'm getting dopamine from this because I'm choosing to get dopamine from this. Okay? If I went off and just was scrolling social media or playing video games or watching TV or something like right now, I would get more dopamine from that. My brain wants to do that more. But I'm doing this. And because it's a passion of mine and because it's fulfilling, it provides me with that dopamine and that happiness that I truly need to stay the course. Okay. Now, another passion, right? Some other passions could be hobbies, right? Some other passions could be hobbies. For me, I love surfing, right? My wife loves playing basketball, right? A couple other passions. Maybe your passion is golf. Maybe your passion is swimming. Maybe your passion is jujitsu, whatever it is. Okay. Make time for your passions. Because, guys, if you want lasting happiness, you can't just grind every day. You can't just only do one thing. You have to give yourself all of what you want, right? And a part of that is living your passions. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, guys, is relationships. Okay. Because relationships are the backbone to any sort of happiness in a person's life, right? If your relationships are good, it doesn't matter how bad of a day you have. It doesn't matter if someone cuts you off in traffic. It doesn't matter if you fall down the stairs or some shit, right? It doesn't matter if work was bad, if your boss was a dick, if your business you had a shitty month. None of that stuff matters if you've got good relationships, because at the end of the day, you can always go home and your family's going to be there, right? No matter how bad your day is, unless you mess up your family, which is a whole nother conversation. But as long as you keep your relationships alive and keep them healthy and keep them vibrant, no matter what goes on externally in your life, you're always going to have something to go back to, Okay. So keep those relationships alive. And the best way to keep the relationships alive is to link them to purpose, right? If you have a strong, purposeful relationship with whoever it is, whether it's your kid, your spouse, your mom, your dad, your cousin, whoever it is that's important to you, if you have a strong, purpose-filled relationship with any human being, those relationships can stand the test of time because the purpose that backs them, the reason why you're both choosing that relationship is more powerful than anything that can come and fucking attack it. Okay. So that's extremely important to understand as well. The second thing with relationships is to live by a code of conduct, right? No matter what the relationship is, there has to be a specific code of conduct. I'll give you a couple of examples. With my kids, I tell them, they know that daddy takes them to school in the morning. Yeah, that's a non-negotiable. Daddy takes them to school in the morning. Okay, I missed it one time last week and they were pissed. So like there's a code that I live by with my sons. Daddy takes you to school, period. You can always rely on me for that. I'm always going to be here for you as well from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. I'm never going to take a call at 6 to 8. I'm never going to like go watch TV or something. I'm always there for you at that time. There's a code in marriage, right? It's the same thing for successful marriage. It's the same thing for relationships with your parents, your family members, whatever it is. But the code of conduct needs to be law. Like there needs to be rules and expectations that both parties meet. Okay. So that's relationships. The last thing I want to talk about to become truly high on life and experience that lasting happiness that we all want is to give back. Okay. Give back. And this is something that is extremely underrated as well, you guys, because, you know, we all get so caught up every day in what we want and the things that we're doing and the work that we have and the stresses and the bills and all the stuff that we have to do, taking out the garbage and cleaning the dishes and keeping your wife happy and keeping your kids happy. And then they break some shit and you got to clean it up. You know what I mean? Like literally we get so caught up in the little stuff all day long, every single day that we stop to take a wide look and say, hey, what can I do that's actually going to give back to someone other than myself, right? What can I do today that is, and this is something that's a non-negotiable for me. I read this every single morning in my lifestyle blueprint. What can I do today? One thing I can do today that fills my wife's love tank, right? And if you don't know what a love tank is, right, you should read the book, The 5 Love Languages, because it talks about how every human being in every relationship has a certain sort of love language. And the things that you do either fill that love tank or reduce it, right? So what is one thing I can do that's going to fill my wife's love tank? What's something that you can do today to give back to your clients? What's something you can do today to give back to your work, show appreciation at work, right? What's something you can do today that's going to give back to your community or your environment, right? Guys, there's people out there right now. If you're watching this video, first and foremost, I want you to stay. Don't leave right now, okay? If you're watching this video, you're watching this video on either a computer or a cell phone, which means that you have it better than 90% of human beings on this planet. There's always going to be someone who needs more than you, who's hurting more than you, who's suffering more than you, who doesn't have as much as you have, who wishes they could have a fraction of what you have. So remember, the secrets to lasting happiness is also to give back. Let's do a quick recap. Okay. High on life, baby. The first one is engineering your dopamine to come from specific things. Okay. Specific things that are work related, relationship related, specific things that help you build your purpose on this planet as a human being. The second thing is gratitude and mindfulness with the specific goal of tuning your frequency to a level where you become that which attracts everything that you want. Because the universe is a mirror. The universe doesn't just give you what you want. You can want all day and nothing's going to fucking happen. You can shit in one hand and wish in the other one. The hand that you shit in is going to fill up way faster. Okay. In order to get what you want, you need to become that which attracts it. Okay. And the only way to do that is to tune your frequency to a high level every single day through gratitude and mindfulness. Mindfulness being meditation. If you guys want a great meditation book, Total Meditation by Deepak Chopra teaches you specific techniques that you can use to unlock awareness inside of your consciousness and actually truly find who you are. Okay. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. You should read it. The third one is passions. Do the things that you're passionate about. Make time for those things. Guys, my mornings 3 to 4 days a week are cleared so that I can work out, I can film videos, but ultimately so I can surf, right? I make time for the stuff that I'm very passionate about because I am a happier person when I do the things I love, right? You guys should too. Do the things that you love. Make time for it. The fourth one is relationships, okay? Link your purpose, link your relationships to specific purposes. Have a code of conduct that you conduct every single relationship on and continue to make them better. Continue to make them better. The last thing is giving back. Okay, guys. And as you all know, there's so many people out there right now that could use your help. No matter what you're doing, no matter what your gifts are, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter where in life you are or think you're not, there's still someone somewhere, not even one, thousands of people all over the world that would kill for 1% of what you have because you're watching this on social media right now. So give back. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. I love you all very, very, very much. If you like the podcast and you're listening to this on the actual podcast platforms, I would love and appreciate a review. You can leave a 5-star review. That would make my day. If you're watching this with me live right now, thank you guys so much for tuning in live. And I'll see you guys in tomorrow's episode. Peace.